Listen to me, and listen carefully. What if I told you that the greatest fortunes, the most magnificent achievements, the most powerful empires in human history were built not by those who shouted their intentions from the rooftops, but by those who worked in complete silence? What if I revealed to you that while you've been watching others, comparing yourself to their highlight reels, seeking their approval, and measuring your worth against their achievements, you've been committing the most costly mistake of your entire existence? This is not motivation. This is instruction. For 25 years, I studied the minds of the most successful individuals who ever lived. I sat in the parlors of steel magnates, in the laboratories of inventors, in the boardrooms of industrial titans. And do you know what I discovered? Every single one of them possessed a secret that they guarded more carefully than their bank accounts. They understood that true power is built in silence. While their competitors were busy announcing their plans, seeking recognition, and craving the spotlight, these masters of success were quietly constructing their empires brick by brick, thought by thought, in the sacred sanctuary of their own minds. You see, my friend, you have been conditioned to believe that success requires external validation. You've been taught that you must impress others, that you must constantly prove your worth, that you must compete for attention like a child begging for scraps at the dinner table. But what if I told you that this very need for external approval is the invisible chain that has been keeping you bound to mediocrity? Right now, as you listen to these words, there are individuals all around you who are building massive wealth, creating revolutionary innovations, and designing extraordinary lives, but you don't hear about them. You don't see them on social media. You don't know their names yet. They are the quiet builders. They are the ones who have discovered the most powerful secret in the universe, the magnificent obsession of self-development. While others are busy watching, they are becoming. While others are busy talking, they are doing. While others are busy seeking approval, they are creating. The tragedy is that most people will spend their entire lives focused on the wrong target. They will waste their precious mental energy, their creative power, their divine potential, on things that are completely outside their control. They will live and die as spectators in the grand theater of success, never realizing that they were meant to be the star of their own magnificent performance. But you have been chosen to hear this message. You have been selected to receive this knowledge, and if you possess even an ounce of wisdom, you will recognize this moment as the turning point of your entire existence. The powerful forces that control this world do not want you to know what I'm about to reveal. They profit from your distraction. They benefit from your comparison. They thrive on your desperate need for their approval. They want you to keep looking outward, because the moment you turn your attention inward, the moment you begin to build yourself quietly, you become dangerous. You become ungovernable. You become unstoppable. This message you're about to receive is not theory. It's not philosophy. It's not feel-good motivation that will leave you inspired for a moment and unchanged forever. This is the blueprint for internal revolution. 2. Authority validation. Let me establish something beyond the shadow of a doubt. What I'm about to share with you is not the opinion of a dreamer or the wishful thinking of a philosopher. This is law, not theory. For 25 years, I had the extraordinary privilege of studying the methods, the minds, and the secrets of more than 500 of the most successful individuals who ever lived. Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate who accumulated a fortune worth billions in today's currency, personally commissioned me to conduct this research. I sat across from Henry Ford and learned how he built his automotive empire, not by watching his competitors, but by obsessing over his own vision. I spent countless hours with Thomas Edison, who created over 1,000 inventions, not by seeking the approval of critics, but by building his genius in the quiet sanctuary of his laboratory. I walked through the halls of power with John D. Rockefeller, who accumulated wealth beyond measure, not by comparing himself to others, but by silently constructing his business empire while others were busy talking about their plans. I learned from Charles Schwab, who rose from a common laborer to become the president of the largest steel company in the world, not by competing for attention, but by quietly developing his skills and building his value in the marketplace. These titans of industry all possessed one common characteristic. They were masters of internal focus. They understood that the person who can control their attention, who can direct their mental energy toward their own development, who can resist the magnetic pull of external distractions, possesses the most valuable skill in the universe. This is not speculation. This is not theory. This is documented fact. Every principle I will share with you has been tested in the laboratory of real life. Every strategy has been proven by individuals who started with nothing more than a burning desire and an unwavering commitment to their own growth. What you're about to learn is the distilled essence of centuries of human achievement. This is the secret formula that has created every fortune, built every empire, and manifested every dream that has ever been realized. Pay attention. Your future depends on it. To problem identification, let me paint a picture of your current reality, and you tell me if I'm wrong. You wake up each morning and immediately reach for your phone. Within moments, you're consuming the curated highlight reels of others' lives. You see their successes, their achievements, their seemingly perfect existence, and immediately a familiar feeling creeps into your consciousness: inadequacy. You go through your day constantly measuring yourself against others. You compare your income to your colleagues, your appearance to the models on social media, your progress to the overnight successes you see online. You live in a state of perpetual comparison, and it's killing your soul. You've been programmed to believe that you must constantly prove your worth to the world. You post about your activities, seeking validation through likes and comments. You announce your plans, hoping for encouragement and support. You share your struggles, desperate for sympathy and understanding. But here's what's really happening. You're hemorrhaging your creative power. Every moment you spend focused on others is a moment stolen from your own development. Every minute you waste comparing yourself to someone else is a minute that could have been invested in building your own empire. Every second you spend seeking external approval is a second that could have been used to create internal transformation. You've become addicted to the drug of external validation. You need others to tell you that you're good enough, smart enough, worthy enough. You've forgotten that you possess within you the infinite power to create any reality you desire. The tragic truth is that while you're busy watching others, while you're busy competing for crumbs of attention, while you're busy trying to impress people who don't even know your name, the real opportunities are passing you by. You see, my friend, there are only two types of people in this world: builders and spectators. Builders focus on their own construction project. They wake up each day with a clear vision of what they want to create, and they systematically work toward that vision. They don't have time to watch others because they're too busy building their own magnificent future. Spectators, on the other hand, spend their lives watching the builders. They critique from the sidelines. They compare and contrast. They point out flaws and celebrate failures. They live vicariously through others' achievements, while their own dreams gather dust in the corner of their minds. Which one are you? The brutal reality is that most people will spend their entire lives as spectators. They will die with their music still in them, their potential unrealized, their dreams unfulfilled. They will reach the end of their days and realize that they wasted their precious time and energy on things that were completely outside their control. But it doesn't have to be this way. You have a choice. You can continue living as a spectator, or you can make the decision to become a builder. The question is, are you ready to focus on yourself and build your empire quietly, or will you continue to waste your life watching others build theirs? The hidden law of internal focus. Now let me reveal to you the most powerful secret in the universe, the hidden law that governs all achievement, all success, all manifestation of dreams into reality. Whatever you focus on expands. This is not a platitude. This is not motivational fluff. This is a fundamental law of the universe, as reliable as the law of gravity, as consistent as the rising and setting of the sun. When you focus on others, you expand their power in your life. When you focus on comparison, you expand feelings of inadequacy. When you focus on external validation, you expand your dependency on others' opinions. But when you focus on yourself, when you direct your mental energy toward your own growth, your own development, your own potential, you begin to expand your personal power exponentially. The principle that builds fortunes. The most successful individuals in history understood this principle intuitively. They knew that the person who can master their attention, who can direct their focus like a laser beam toward their own objectives, possesses the key to unlimited achievement. Let me tell you about a man I knew, a man who started with nothing but a burning desire and an unwavering commitment to his own development, but his name was Edwin Barnes, and he came to Thomas Edison with nothing but a dream and a determination to become Edison's business partner. He had no money, no connections, no formal education, but he possessed something far more valuable, absolute focus on his own objective. While others were busy networking, seeking introductions, and trying to impress Edison with their credentials, Barnes quietly went to work. He focused entirely on making himself valuable to Edison's organization. He studied Edison's methods, learned his business, and developed his own skills. Barnes didn't waste time comparing himself to other employees. He didn't seek Edison's approval for every decision. He didn't announce his plans to become Edison's partner. He simply built himself quietly, day by day, skill by skill, until he became indispensable. Years passed. Barnes continued his quiet construction project while others came and went. He focused on his own development while others focused on office politics. He built his value while others built their reputations. And then the moment came. Edison had invented the dictating machine, and he needed someone to market it. While others were busy positioning themselves for the opportunity, Barnes was ready. He had built the skills, the knowledge, and the reputation necessary to succeed. Edison chose Barnes, and Barnes went on to make a fortune that allowed him to retire wealthy and fulfilled. But here's the crucial point. Barnes succeeded not because he was the most talented, not because he was the most connected, not because he was the most charismatic. He succeeded because he focused on himself and built himself quietly while others were distracted by external factors. The secret the 1% know. The wealthiest 1% of individuals in the world understand a secret that the other 99% have never discovered. True power comes from within. They know that external circumstances are merely reflections of internal conditions. They understand that the person who can control their inner world can control their outer world. They have learned that the individual who can master themselves can master any situation. This is why they spend their time, their energy, their resources on self-development rather than self-promotion. They invest in their minds rather than their image. They build their character rather than their reputation. They operate from a definite chief aim that is crystal clear and completely aligned with their own values, their own vision, their own purpose. They don't need others to validate their direction because they have validated it themselves through careful thought and deliberate choice. Let me share with you the story of Henry Ford, one of the most remarkable examples of this principle in action. When Ford announced his intention to build a motor car for the masses, he was ridiculed by experts, criticized by investors, and dismissed by competitors. They said it couldn't be done. They said there was no market for such a vehicle. They said he was a fool with an impossible dream. But Ford didn't focus on their opinions. He didn't waste his energy trying to convince the critics. He didn't seek the approval of the so-called experts. Instead, he focused entirely on his own vision and built his automobile quietly in his workshop. While others were busy talking about why it couldn't be done, Ford was busy figuring out how to do it. While others were focused on the obstacles, Ford was focused on the solutions. While others were building arguments, Ford was building the Model T. The result? Ford not only created the first affordable automobile, but he revolutionized an entire industry. He became one of the wealthiest men in the world, not by seeking others' approval, but by building himself and his vision quietly. This is the power of internal focus. This is the secret of the 1%. This is the definite chief aim applied to personal development. The practical method. Now let me give you the exact method that you can use to harness this power, to focus on yourself, and to build yourself quietly into the person you were meant to become. Step 1. Declare your independence from external validation. The first step in this transformation is to declare your independence from the opinions, judgments, and approval of others. You must make a conscious, deliberate decision to stop seeking external validation for your worth, your decisions, and your direction in life. This doesn't mean you become arrogant or dismissive of others' input. It means you stop making others' opinions the determining factor in your choices. You stop posting every meal, every achievement, every thought on social media seeking validation. You stop announcing your plans, hoping for encouragement. Say this aloud now. I am the master of my own validation. I do not need others to confirm my worth. I know who I am, I know what I want, and I know what I'm capable of achieving. Write this down and repeat it every morning until it becomes part of your subconscious programming. The great industrialist Andrew Carnegie told me that he started each day by reminding himself that he was the director of his own destiny. Step 2. Establish your definite chief aim. You cannot focus on yourself effectively without knowing exactly what you want to achieve. You must establish a definite chief aim, a clear, specific, written statement of exactly what you intend to accomplish with your life. This aim must be yours alone. It cannot be influenced by what others expect of you, what society tells you to want, or what appears to be popular or fashionable. It must arise from your own deepest desires, your own authentic vision, your own unique purpose. Sit down in a quiet place, away from all distractions, and write out your definite chief aim. Be specific, be detailed, be bold. Don't worry about how you'll achieve it. Focus only on what you want to achieve. Thomas Edison told me that he wrote his definite chief aim on a piece of paper and read it aloud twice daily, once upon waking and once before sleep. He said this simple practice kept his mind focused on his own objectives rather than being distracted by the activities and opinions of others. Say this aloud now. I have a definite chief aim, and I will allow nothing and no one to distract me from its achievement. Step 3. Create your daily focus ritual. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you consume any external information, before you allow the world to influence your thoughts, you must establish a daily focus ritual. This ritual consists of 3 elements. First, read your definite chief aim aloud with emotion and conviction. Feel the reality of its achievement. Visualize yourself already in possession of what you desire. Second, spend 15 minutes in self-reflection. Ask yourself, what can I do today to move closer to my aim? What skills can I develop? What knowledge can I acquire? What habits can I strengthen? Third, make a commitment to focus on your own development for the next 24 hours. Promise yourself that you will not waste mental energy on comparison, competition, or seeking external validation. John D. Rockefeller had a similar ritual. He spent the first hour of each day in what he called building time, time dedicated exclusively to planning his own growth and development. He said this single habit was worth more than any university education. Say this aloud now. I will begin each day by focusing on my own growth and development. I will not allow external distractions to steal my creative power. Step 4, practice the art of selective attention. Throughout your day, you must practice the art of selective attention. This means consciously choosing where to direct your mental energy and ruthlessly protecting your focus from distractions. When you feel the urge to check social media, redirect that energy toward reading something that will improve your mind. When you catch yourself comparing your progress to others, immediately shift your attention to your own development goals. When you find yourself seeking approval or validation, remember that you are the master of your own validation. Charles Schwab told me that he carried a small notebook where he wrote down every time he caught his mind wandering from his own objectives. He said this practice made him aware of how much mental energy he was wasting on irrelevant matters. Create your own focus accountability system. Each time you catch yourself focusing on others rather than yourself, make a note of it. Each time you redirect your attention to your own development, celebrate it. What you measure, you can manage. Say this aloud now. I am the guardian of my own attention. I will not allow others to steal my mental energy. I will focus on my own building project. Step 5, build your skills in silence. While others are busy announcing their plans, you must be busy building your skills in silence. Every skill you develop, every book you read, every lesson you learn makes you more valuable, more capable, more powerful. But here's the crucial point. You must do this without seeking recognition or approval. You must find satisfaction in the process of growth itself, not in others' acknowledgement of your growth. Henry Ford spent years quietly developing his mechanical skills before he ever announced his intention to build automobiles. He said, "I built my capabilities in secret so that when opportunity came, I would be ready." Choose 3 skills that are directly related to your definite chief aim. Commit to developing these skills for at least 1 hour each day. Read books, take courses, practice exercises, but do it quietly, without announcement, without seeking praise. Say this aloud now: I will build my skills in silence. I will develop my capabilities without seeking recognition. I will become valuable before I become visible. Step 6. Eliminate energy drains. You must identify and eliminate everything in your life that drains your energy without contributing to your growth. This includes relationships, activities, habits, and environments that distract you from your own development. If you spend time with people who constantly seek drama, who complain without taking action, who discourage your dreams, you must limit your exposure to these energy vampires. If you engage in activities that provide temporary pleasure but no lasting value, you must eliminate them from your schedule. Edwin Barnes told me that he made a list of everything in his life that contributed to his growth and everything that detracted from it. He then systematically eliminated the detractions and amplified the contributions. Make your own list. On one side, write down everything that contributes to your personal development. On the other side, write down everything that drains your energy or distracts you from your goals. Then begin the process of ruthless elimination. Say this aloud now: I will eliminate all energy drains from my life. I will protect my mental and emotional energy for my own growth and development. Step 7. Measure your progress internally. Finally, you must learn to measure your progress by internal standards rather than external comparisons. Your success is not determined by how you compare to others, but by how you compare to your previous self. Each evening, spend 15 minutes reviewing your day. Ask yourself, did I focus on my own development today? Did I learn something new? Did I strengthen a skill? Did I move closer to my definite chief aim? This internal scorecard will keep you focused on your own progress rather than others' achievements. It will help you maintain consistent forward momentum regardless of external circumstances. Andrew Carnegie kept a daily journal where he recorded his personal and professional growth. He said this practice kept him focused on his own journey rather than being distracted by competitors or critics. Say this aloud now: I will measure my success by my own progress, not by comparison to others. I will celebrate my own growth and development. Destroying objections. Now I know what you're thinking. I can hear the voices of doubt, the whispers of fear, the objections that are rising in your mind. Let me address each of these false beliefs that have been keeping you trapped in the prison of external focus. Conquering the fear of poverty. But Napoleon, you say, if I don't network, if I don't self-promote, if I don't compete for attention, how will I ever make money? How will I ever achieve financial success? This is the fear of poverty speaking, and it's based on a fundamental misunderstanding of how wealth is created. You've been conditioned to believe that financial success comes from external factors: connections, luck, being in the right place at the right time, impressing the right people. But I studied the wealthiest individuals in history, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, wealth is created from within. Every fortune begins with a definite chief aim and an unwavering commitment to building value. The individuals who accumulate the most wealth are not those who network the most, but those who develop themselves the most. When you focus on building your skills, your knowledge, your character, you become more valuable in the marketplace. When you become more valuable, you can command higher compensation. When you can command higher compensation, you accumulate wealth naturally. Henry Ford didn't become wealthy by networking at cocktail parties. He became wealthy by quietly developing his ability to build automobiles better than anyone else. John D. Rockefeller didn't accumulate his fortune by competing for attention. He accumulated it by building his business knowledge and skills until he became the most valuable person in his industry. The secret of wealth is not in seeking it directly, but in building yourself into the type of person who naturally attracts wealth. Conquering the fear of criticism. But what if people think I'm antisocial? What if they think I'm arrogant? What if they criticize me for not being more social, more collaborative, more team-oriented? This is the fear of criticism, and it's one of the most destructive fears that plague the human mind. You've been programmed to believe that others' opinions matter more than your own progress, that social acceptance is more important than personal development. But let me ask you this, whose life are you living? Are you living your life, or are you living the life that others expect you to live? The greatest achievers in history were all criticized, ridiculed, and dismissed by their contemporaries. Edison was called a fool. Ford was called a dreamer. Rockefeller was called ruthless. But they didn't let criticism distract them from their definite chief aim. The people who criticize you for focusing on yourself are usually the same people who have never accomplished anything significant in their own lives. They criticize builders because they themselves are spectators. They attack those who are growing because they themselves are stagnating. Remember this, the opinion of a person who has not achieved what you want to achieve is worthless. You don't take swimming lessons from someone who can't swim. You don't take financial advice from someone who is broke. And you don't take life advice from someone who is living a life of mediocrity, conquering the fear of loss of love. But what about my relationships? What about my family and friends? If I focus on myself, won't I lose the people I care about? This fear is based on a false premise. You've been conditioned to believe that focusing on yourself means being selfish, that personal development means neglecting others. But the truth is exactly the opposite. When you focus on building yourself, when you develop your skills, your knowledge, your character, you become more valuable to everyone in your life. You become a better partner, a better parent, a better friend. A better friend. The people who truly love you will support your growth and development. They will celebrate your progress and encourage your journey. The people who try to hold you back, who criticize your commitment to personal development, who make you feel guilty for focusing on yourself, these are not people who love you. These are people who want to keep you small so they don't have to face their own mediocrity. Andrew Carnegie told me that when he began his journey of self-development, some people in his life were supportive and others were not. He learned to spend more time with the supporters and less time with the critics. As a result, his relationships became stronger and more meaningful, conquering the fear of old age. But what if I'm too old to start focusing on myself? What if I've wasted too much time already? What if it's too late for me to build something significant? This is the fear of old age, and it's nothing more than a mental limitation that you've accepted as truth. You've been programmed to believe that growth and development are only for young people, that there comes a time when you must accept mediocrity as your fate. But I can tell you that some of the greatest achievements in history were accomplished by individuals who were considered too old by society's standards. Colonel Sanders was 62 when he started KFC. Laura Ingalls Wilder was 64 when she wrote her first Little House book. Grandma Moses was 78 when she began her painting career. The power of focused attention works at any age. The principles of personal development are timeless. The law of growth recognizes no age limits. Every day that you focus on yourself, every day that you build your skills, every day that you develop your potential, you become more valuable, more capable, more powerful. Your age is irrelevant. Your past is irrelevant. Your current circumstances are irrelevant. What matters is your commitment to growth and your willingness to focus on yourself instead of others. What matters is your commitment to growth and your willingness to focus on yourself instead of others. Conquering the fear of death. But what if I die before I achieve my goals? What if I focus on myself and build quietly, but then I run out of time? This is the fear of death, and it's based on a misunderstanding of what death really means. You've been conditioned to believe that death is the end, that if you don't achieve your goals before you die, your life was worthless. But the truth is that death is not the opposite of life. Death is the opposite of birth. Life is eternal, and the contributions you make through your personal development live on long after your physical body returns to dust. When you focus on yourself and build yourself quietly, you're not just building for your own benefit. You're building for the benefit of everyone whose life you touch. You're creating value that will outlast your physical existence. Thomas Edison knew that he would die someday, but he also knew that his inventions would continue to benefit humanity long after he was gone. He focused on building his capabilities not just for his own success, but for the legacy he would leave behind. Every skill you develop, every book you read, every lesson you learn makes you more valuable to the world. When you focus on yourself and build yourself quietly, you're not being selfish, you're being responsible. You're taking responsibility for becoming the best version of yourself so that you can make the greatest contribution to the world. Immediate action. Do not wait until tomorrow. Do not wait until Monday. Do not wait until the new year. Do not wait until you feel ready, until you have more time, until circumstances are perfect. The time is now. Every day you delay beginning this transformation is a day lost forever. Every hour you spend focused on others instead of yourself is an hour that could have been invested in building your empire. Every minute you waste seeking external validation is a minute that could have been used to develop your internal power. Here is what you must do immediately. Before you do anything else, first, write down your definite chief aim. Right now, stop listening to these words and write down exactly what you want to achieve with your life. Be specific, be bold, be honest. This is not a goal that others will see or judge. This is your personal contract with yourself. Second, make a commitment to begin your daily focus ritual tomorrow morning. Set your alarm 15 minutes earlier. Place a pen and paper next to your bed. Before you check your phone, before you consume any external information, you will read your definite chief aim aloud and spend 15 minutes planning your own development. Third, identify 3 skills that are directly related to your definite chief aim. These are the skills that you will begin developing immediately. Choose resources, books, courses, mentors that will help you build these skills. Order them today. Begin studying tonight. Fourth, make a list of all the energy drains in your life. These are the relationships, activities, habits, and environments that distract you from your own development. Decide which ones you will eliminate first. Take action today to reduce your exposure to these energy vampires. Fifth, delete social media apps from your phone. This may seem extreme, but it's necessary. Social media is designed to keep you focused on others instead of yourself. It's a weapon of mass distraction that has been stealing your creative power. You can access these platforms from your computer when necessary, but you must not allow them to interrupt your focus throughout the day. Sixth, tell no one about your plans. This is crucial. When you announce your intentions, you dilute their power. When you seek others' approval for your direction, you weaken your resolve. Keep your definite chief aim to yourself. Build your skills in silence. Let your results speak for themselves. Remember the words of Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. The moment you make the decision to focus on yourself and build yourself quietly, you begin a transformation that will revolutionize your entire existence. But you must make this decision consciously and deliberately. You must choose to become a builder rather than a spectator. You must choose to focus on your own development rather than others' achievements. You must choose to build your empire quietly rather than seeking external validation. This choice will not be easy. The world will try to pull you back into the old patterns. People will criticize your commitment to personal development. They will try to make you feel guilty for focusing on yourself. They will tempt you with distractions and diversions. But you must remain steadfast. You must protect your focus like a precious treasure. You must guard your attention like a sacred trust. You must remember that every moment you spend focused on yourself is an investment in your future, and every moment you spend focused on others is a withdrawal from your potential. The individuals who will achieve the most in the coming years are those who can resist the magnetic pull of external distractions and focus their mental energy on their own growth and development. They are the ones who will build their empires quietly, while others are busy watching and comparing. You can be one of them. Vision of the future. The day will come when you will look back on this moment as the turning point of your entire life. You will remember the day you decided to focus on yourself and build yourself quietly as the day you were reborn. Imagine yourself 1 year from now. You have spent every day focused on your own development. You have built your skills systematically and deliberately. You have eliminated the energy drains from your life. You have stopped seeking external validation and started creating internal value. You wake up each morning with clarity and purpose. You know exactly what you want to achieve, and you know exactly what you need to do to achieve it. You don't waste time scrolling through social media or comparing yourself to others. You don't need others' approval because you have developed your own internal scorecard. You have become dangerously competent. Your skills are so sharp, your knowledge so deep, your character so strong, that you represent a threat to mediocrity wherever you go. You don't need to announce your capabilities because they are evident in everything you do. People begin to notice your transformation, but they can't quite put their finger on what has changed. You seem more confident, more focused, more purposeful. You're not trying to impress anyone, but somehow you're more impressive than ever before. Opportunities begin to present themselves. People who never noticed you before suddenly want to work with you. Projects that seemed impossible suddenly become achievable. Ideas that were once just dreams begin to manifest in reality. Now imagine yourself 5 years from now. You have mastered the art of internal focus. You have built your empire quietly and systematically. While others were busy watching and comparing, you were busy becoming. You have achieved your definite chief aim, and you have set new, even more ambitious goals. You have become the master of your own destiny. You don't need others' permission to pursue your dreams because you have given yourself permission. You don't need others' validation because you have developed your own internal compass. You have become a magnet for success. People are drawn to your energy, your focus, your purposefulness. They want to know your secret, but you simply smile and tell them that there is no secret, only the discipline to focus on yourself and build yourself quietly. You have financial freedom, but more importantly, you have emotional freedom. You are no longer controlled by others' opinions or dependent on their approval. You have become emotionally independent and psychologically sovereign. 10 years from now, you will be living a life that most people can only dream of. You will have built something magnificent, not just in terms of external success, but in terms of internal development. You will have become the person you were always meant to be. You will look around at the world and see the same patterns repeating themselves. You will see people desperately seeking external validation, comparing themselves to others, wasting their precious mental energy on things beyond their control, and you will feel profound gratitude that you discovered the secret of internal focus. You will have become living proof that the person who can focus on themselves and build themselves quietly can achieve anything they set their mind to. You will have demonstrated that true power comes from within and that the greatest achievements are built in silence. People will study your story. They will want to know how you did it. They will ask for your secrets and your strategies, and you will share with them the same message that I'm sharing with you now. Focus on yourself, not others. Build yourself quietly. The future you I'm describing is not a fantasy. It's not a pipe dream. It's not wishful thinking. It's an inevitable reality for anyone who has the courage to focus on themselves and the discipline to build themselves quietly. That future is available to you. It's waiting for you. It's calling to you. The only question is, will you answer the call? My friend, we have reached the end of our journey together, but in truth, this is not an ending. It's a beginning. Everything I have shared with you, every principle I have revealed, every secret I have disclosed, leads to this moment of decision. You now possess the blueprint for internal revolution. You understand that true power comes from within. You know that the greatest achievements are built in silence. You have learned that the person who can focus on themselves and build themselves quietly can achieve anything they set their mind to. But knowledge without action is worthless. Wisdom without application is meaningless. Understanding without implementation is powerless. The choice before you is simple but profound. Will you continue to live as a spectator, or will you become a builder? Will you continue to focus on others, or will you focus on yourself? Will you continue to seek external validation, or will you build internal value? The time for decision is now. I am going to ask you to do something that may seem unusual, but it's crucial for your transformation. I want you to comment, "I am ready," below this video. But don't just type the words, feel them, mean them. Let them represent your commitment to focusing on yourself and building yourself quietly. This is not just a comment. This is a declaration of independence from the opinions and judgments of others. This is your commitment to becoming the architect of your own destiny. Next, I want you to share this message with someone who needs to hear it, but don't share it casually. Share it with someone who is struggling with comparison, someone who is seeking external validation, someone who has forgotten their own power. Share it as an act of service, not as a way to gain attention. Remember, this is not just a video you've watched. It's a blueprint you've received. The principles I've shared are not theories to be contemplated, but laws to be applied. The strategies I've revealed are not suggestions to be considered, but instructions to be followed. You must subscribe to this channel not just to receive more content, but to remind yourself daily of your commitment to internal focus. Every time you see a new video, let it serve as a reminder to focus on yourself and build yourself quietly. But most importantly, you must watch this video again and again and again. Each time you listen, you will discover new insights, new applications, new ways to implement these principles in your life. This is not entertainment. This is education. This is not motivation. This is transformation. I have given you the keys to the kingdom. I have shared with you the same secrets that created the fortunes of Ford, Edison, Carnegie, and Rockefeller. I have revealed the hidden law that governs all achievement. But I cannot make you use these keys. I cannot force you to apply these principles. I cannot compel you to focus on yourself and build yourself quietly. That choice, that sacred choice, is yours alone. The world is waiting for what you have to offer. The universe is ready to support your growth and development. The infinite intelligence that created you is eager to work through you to manifest your definite chief aim. But you must make the first move. You must take the first step. You must make the conscious decision to focus on yourself and build yourself quietly. 25 years of research, hundreds of interviews with the most successful individuals in history, countless hours of study and analysis, all of this has led to this moment, to this message, to this opportunity for you to transform your life. Do not let this moment pass. Do not let this opportunity slip away. Do not let this message become just another piece of content you consumed and forgot. The time is now. Your future self is waiting. Your definite chief aim is calling. Your magnificent destiny is ready to unfold. Focus on yourself, not others. Build yourself quietly. And remember, you are not just changing your own life. You are setting an example for others. You are demonstrating that it's possible to break free from the prison of external validation. You are proving that true power comes from within. The revolution begins with you. Comment "I am ready" below if you're making the sacred commitment to focus on yourself and build your empire quietly. This is not just a comment. This is your declaration of independence from external validation. This is your promise to yourself that you will no longer waste your precious mental energy seeking others' approval. When you type those 3 words, you're joining an elite group of quiet builders who understand that true power comes from within. You're announcing to the universe that you're ready to become the architect of your own destiny. Subscribe to this channel and ring the notification bell because the wisdom you'll receive here is worth more than any university education. Each video contains battle-tested principles used by the greatest success stories in history. This isn't entertainment. This is your personal success academy, based on Napoleon Hill's 25 years of research with millionaires and billionaires. Every notification you receive is an opportunity to strengthen your success programming and stay focused on your definite chief aim. Share this life-changing message with 3 people who are struggling with comparison, seeking external validation, or have forgotten their own magnificent power. But share it not for likes or recognition. Share it as an act of service. When you help others discover the power of internal focus, you're not just changing their lives, you're creating a ripple effect of transformation that will impact generations. Remember, the greatest leaders throughout history became great by lifting others up, not by keeping secrets to themselves. The future you've always dreamed of, the financial freedom, the emotional independence, the respect of others, the inner peace, the sense of purpose, all of this is not just possible, it's inevitable when you apply these principles consistently. But that future version of yourself is waiting for you to make the first move. Every day you delay is another day that magnificent person remains trapped in potential instead of living in reality. The time is now, because tomorrow is a luxury you cannot afford. The competitive advantages you'll gain by focusing on yourself while others focus on distractions will compound daily. While they're busy watching, you'll be becoming. While they're seeking approval, you'll be building value. While they're making excuses, you'll be making progress. Your revolution begins the moment you close this video and take the first step.